Okay, so the pickups tested fine. The electronics were working A-OK. At this point, we're going to install the tremolo. Remember, I talked about the block. The block inserts down through this hole. Just carefully place it down in here. And then we put in the screws that hold it in place. And there are 6 of them. I will thread them in here and get them going, and then come back and explain how we adjust this so that it works properly. Okay, now that we have all 6 of these screws in place, what we need to do is tighten them up. And the way for proper adjustment on these is to get all of these screws down about 1/16 of an inch above the plate on the bridge. So these screws will all have to be down. I'll get a close-up and show you how that works. And then the side screws we adjust down a little bit closer. Okay, so now we have each of these adjusted to where the screws are about 1/16 of an inch above the surface of the plate, except for the 2 on the outside. The outermost screws are pretty much flush, just a hair above flush. So you screw them down so that they're 1/16 of an inch off the surface of the plate, except for the 2 side ones. You want to screw those down almost to where they touch the plate. Maybe like the thickness of a sheet of paper to fit between them. So now we have the bridge plate mounted to the body. We want to put a piece of paper or something protective underneath the back of the bridge so that it doesn't dent the body when the pressure comes onto the bridge. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, now we get our bag with our springs, because we're going to be putting the springs in the bag. Don't lose the little wrench that comes in the bag. It's for adjusting your bridge. So we'll set the springs over here. I folded a piece of cardstock in half so it was kind of thick, just enough so that it can fit under the bridge. We try to hold the bridge in place as we turn this thing over to expose the back side with the claw. And the first thing we're going to do is put a spring in the center, the little hole that's right down here. The spring has an angle end on it, and we're going to fit that into this hole and then stretch the spring to fit on to the claw we have mounted earlier. This is not always the easiest. There we go. So we have a spring in place. Turn the body over. Make sure our paper is still there, and you can see that it's held in place now by the pressure of that spring. 2 more springs to put in. We're going to put them on the outside edges. So the last hole on this side, the center hole, and the last hole on this side. Alright, and then we stretch them over the claw. And then we'll adjust the claw after we get the strings on the guitar. And then the pressure from the strings will then pull on the bridge from the other direction, and then we'll have to adjust the claw. So now we have the electronics completed, we have the bridge installed, we need to put the strap buttons onto the body. So I have these vintage Fender strap buttons. Hopefully you can see that. Plus the felt washers. There's a black washer that goes on the bottom side of the vintage style deal. And we'll put one of those at the top horn and then at the base, and then we'll put on the neck.